Hey y'all, it is your favorite trainer, Lena Lifts, Coach Erica, here once again. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with all the new fun videos, life hacks, and workouts. So today we're going to be talking about is going to be the 4 things that you are doing that are preventing you from growing your glutes. So the trend with body types nowadays is going to be the bubble butt, the big old glutes, the mommy muscle milk glute babies. 3. So nowadays everybody wants the tiny waist and the big old glutes, the big old legs, from skinny Brazilian butt lifts, the glute workouts, every single one, getting plastic surgery. Everyone wants to grow their glutes, which is perfectly fine because guess what? I do the exact same thing. Right now, I'm transitioning from my bodybuilding style where I felt like I lost a lot of my glutes, and I'm going back into my heavy workout program. So I am one of those people. But if you are trying to grow your glutes and you're not seeing the results you want to see, there could be a couple of reasons for that. Now, I just want to remind you that not everybody is going to be able to get those glutes. And you know what kind of glutes I'm talking about. Those glutes, 4 things that you're going to be doing and why you're not getting them. The number one reason, and you have to take this into consideration when you're making your plan, while you're hitting your goals, if they're realistic, is going to be genetics. Genetics play a huge part in how our body looks, trains, stores fat, and is what is going to be capable of that body. Now, some ladies, we carry fat well, and we carry it on the bottom half. Other ladies, we carry it more in the midsection. Some could have it on the back. You know, sometimes we'll have the ladies say, oh, my back fat, and that's where they store fat, or they store it in the middle, or, you know, they carry it in their legs. And sometimes you can carry weight, as in fat, well in the legs, and sometimes you don't. Now, genetically speaking, if your body is not meant to carry fat in that way, it's just not going to happen unless you get surgery. And even when you do surgery, a big reason why these Brazilian butt lifts sometimes need to be done multiple times is because your body genetically does not want to carry the fat right there. Your body wants to disperse it. If you're naturally lean, your body is going to want to stay lean. So if you are a leaner girl, you're not going to get that giant old jiggly butt. Why? Because your body doesn't want to store fat there. So you might not have that jiggle, but you can still have a muscular butt. And don't forget, when we're working out our butt, there's a couple different aspects. Think about the hamstring. When you have the hamstring, if you train it, you can get that butt higher. Now, you can't get muscle to jiggle that we're looking for. So if that is your case, you might want to change your goals or be more realistic on what you're actually able to do. Now, my body type, I do carry fat very well in my bottom half. My upper half always wants to be lean. I don't carry a lot of fat in the upper. My bottom half is both muscular and carry fat well. So that's why I have somewhat more of a jiggle in that. But once again, that is a huge part. When you take genetics into place, you are either going to be working with your genetics or you're working against your genetics. Now, if you are blessed to be working with your genetics, someone, for example, like me, I'm not even trying to brag, but genetically, I carry muscle well, I don't hold on to fat, and I carry the fat that I do have in my bottom half. For me, that works ideally. Now, someone who doesn't want to have as much muscle with my same body type might be working against your genetics. But what I want to accomplish, I am working with my genetics. Now, I do have a lot of clients, or I do have some girlies hit me up, and they're trying to gain a body type that is going against your genetics. Now, either they carry fat cells too easily, not enough muscle, or, you know, they might be too lean, meaning that their body just doesn't carry muscle or fat well. And there's different types of combinations. It goes on and on and on. If you're working against your genetics, you're going to have a harder road. Sorry, that's just how it goes, unfortunately. But if you are working against your genetics, you need to take that in consideration with your plan, with type of food you're eating, how you're eating, and how you're training. Because you unfortunately are going to have to train so much harder than someone working with their genetics. Think about someone working with their genetics. They are driving downhill. They don't have to put their foot on the brake. They don't have to put the foot on the gas. They can just pop that baby in neutral and just glide with the hill. If you're working against your genetics, you are going uphill at a very slow rate. It's still possible to get up to that hill, but it's going to be slower, and it's going to take a lot more energy, a lot more time, and just everything put together to get you there. But it is not impossible, so do not fret. But when you are looking at your goals, take that in consideration. Take the time to actually figure out genetically what's going to work for you, where you're at. And once you figure out that genetic disposition that you have, that is a huge hack into getting yourself into a better position to get in the goal that you want. Now, reason number 2 why you're not seeing the booty goals that you want to do. You are doing either body weight exercises, or you're using super lightweight, or you're just doing the wrong exercise altogether. But we're gonna go more into the body weight and the light exercises. I know it looks really cute or something, I guess for the views, if you're be a fit influencer, or you see your favorite girl doing like, oh, look at these little exercises, they're so adorable. I think they look terrible, but realistically, they're just a waste of time and energy, because they're not gonna help you accomplish what you actually want, which is that big old booty, big booty Judy butt, which is really what you want. So if you're trying to accomplish that, you can't sit there and do these very light exercises, doing a shit ton of jump squats, a shit ton of these, forward lunges or curtsy squats with just your body weight. It's not going to get you there. Now, when you first start working out, before you jump on me, listen, when you first start working out, think about it, you were doing nothing. So anything you do is going to show you results. Now, those results or newbie gains that you first get are only going to get you so far. You're going to go. You're going to hit a plateau, and then you're going to decrease because you get demotivated and you don't want to do this anymore, which is perfectly fine. But those cute little exercises that you see all your favorite fit influencers doing, the little booty kickbacks, the little workouts at the park, they're not building their butt. They're lying to you. Because guess what? They still lift heavy. They're just not doing it on camera because it's not as cute. Unfortunately, that is what the fact in the fit industry, especially now with all the social media and everything that's going on. Everybody wants to look adorable. No one wants to look disgusting or grunting or, even doing the heavy weights, because it's hard to talk when you're doing these heavy weights. So all these influencers might not be actually showing what they're really doing. They're just trying to sell you the easiest idea and what it is. So lose the body weight exercises, and going into, when I say light weights, girl, I know I'm gonna have a couple people be like, well, I don't wanna look like you, Erica. I get it. I have a lot of muscle for someone my size or for a woman. I personally don't feel that way, but as general population, I will get these comments, and that's fine. But guess what? I have been training in lifting heavy for probably the last 7-8 years. And it definitely took me at least 5 to get this way and look this way. Right now I'm doing more maintenance and I've adjusted how I'm going. But picking up a 30-pound weight to do some reverse dumbbell lunges is not gonna give you shoulder caps. It is not gonna make a huge bicep. Ladies, we need to get out of this notion that heavy weights are gonna make me manly. It doesn't work that way. Trust me, if it did, we would have so many more on top, huge female woman bodybuilders. But with our genetics, estrogen, we don't have testosterone, we have to eat a lot more, you have to train a lot heavier, especially upper body wise. You're not gonna look like a man, especially if you're trying to grow your glutes or your legs. You need that heavy weight. So don't feel afraid to go and ditch the 10 pounds, ditch the 15 pounds, or even the 5 pounds. Please don't even touch them. Go grab a heavy weight, go push yourself. My kind of rule of thumb, if you're trying to lift heavy in the sense of growing your glutes, 5 to 8 reps, 3 sets. Once you master that and you're not like huffing and puffing the whole time, then you can go ahead, up your weight. And I promise you're not gonna get manly. Women naturally are typically stronger on our lower half than our upper half. So take advantage of that. Go ahead, grab some big weights. It's gonna be more enjoyable. You're gonna feel the burn more. You're not gonna have to do, 50 reps of something, like 50 reps of squats. Are you shitting me? No, let's not do that. Do 5 to 8 heavier squats, slow, controlled, because remember, we build muscle time under tension. Once we do that, you will see better results. So remember, no body weight exercises and no baby weights. Drop the 5 pounds, go grab a 30, all right? Now, reason number 3 why your glutes are not growing, because you are not doing glute exercises. You're doing everything else. These little hip bands, you're doing, like pee on the fire hydrant, these little kickbacks and nothing. You need to do glute-based movements, all right? So some exercises, I can spend all day here talking about it, but some exercises that I would really recommend adding into your plan if you're trying to grow the glutes, trying to grow your legs, are one, and I know because they're terrible, nobody wants to do them, but they are your bread and butter. They're gonna be Bulgarian split squats. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing the Bulgarian split squats, you need to do either walking lunges or reverse lunges. Do them with dumbbells. Do a couple dumbbell sets, then do possibly, a burnout with just body weight. You will see results. Remember, Bulgarian and then reverse lunges. Now, that's the bread and butter. What you need to do too is going to be some hip thrusts. Hip thrusts you can do. They're not as scary as necessarily the compound squat movements, where I know if you're just doing introductory into leg movements and lifting, that can be a little too intimidating. So start off with some hip thrusts. And when you do these hip thrusts, I know it seems cool to go ahead and just load up the weight and just throw them up super high. What you want to do is, when you're doing these hip thrusts, slow, controlled. When your hips are up and you're making that tabletop, squeeze your glutes at the top for 2 to 3 seconds, then slowly come down. Time under tension. That's how we're gonna build our butt. So hip thrusts, lunges, Bulgarian split squats. You can also do step ups. Now do this carefully. Do pay attention to your joints. See how you feel. You don't wanna be smacking the ground when you come up. Now, of course, we also love our Romanian deadlifts. Those are gonna be super great. You're gonna focus on bringing that core, that hip motion, those hamstrings, the glutes. Now, some people do like good mornings. Me personally, I do not recommend them. You put yourself at higher risk for injury just because it is a more form corrected movement. If you don't have the correct form, you are putting yourself at a higher risk of injury. So skip out the good mornings, go to RDLs. It's a lot easier too, because realistically, putting the weight back here and leaning forward, it's uncomfortable. With RDLs, you can feel a lot safer. You're more in control. You're holding the weight in front of you. So worst case, you just drop it, no big deal. So RDLs, and then we're going into deadlifts. Now deadlifts, before you start freaking out, super scary, you don't have to do barbell. You can do it with a dumbbell. You can do it with 1 dumbbell. You can do it with 2 dumbbells. Get control of it and then slowly go up. If you're feeling like you want to do more, if you need more weight, then get into the barbell. But you can always do, there's going to be a square rack with sides on it, and you pick it up with this way, that hex bar. You can go ahead and do hex bar deadlifts as well. There's ways to get into without necessarily going just for the barbell. I know it can be a little bit scary if you're not comfortable with form, you don't have someone to look there. There's a way to start small before you do that. Also, squats. I like to say either box squats with a dumbbell, you can do barbell squats, you can do front squats, you can do sumo squats. Doing squats but slowed and controlled with weight will help you with that squat. But notice how I mentioned squats last, because all these other exercises, they're gonna get you there faster, and they are really gonna push you forward, because realistically doing squats forever and forever, it's great. But if you go and look, at male athletes, male bodybuilders, male powerlifters, there's one thing that they have. They have those big butts. They have those big old glutes. And I promise you, what they're doing are deadlifts, RDLs. They are not doing all these little curtsy lunges. They're not doing the bands. They're not doing these little kickbacks. They are doing compound movements. And they have some of the best butts I've ever seen. So remember those exercises when you're doing your plan. Skip the little girly show workouts. Go do compound movements. Pick up some weights. And the fourth reason why you are not getting the goals that you need to see is because you are not eating. Food is your friend. We need to, as women, get away from this idea that food is the enemy. Food is bad. Carbs are bad. Fats are bad. Don't eat too much food. You're not going to grow your glutes on these skinny, tiny little 100, 1,200 calories with no carbs, lick an almond, have a salad, maybe have some protein in there. It's not going to cut it. If you're trying to slim down and you're trying to lose fat and you're trying to have a weight loss, then you need to focus on weight loss. It is so difficult and is virtually impossible to lose weight and build muscle at the same time. It's just not going to happen. So focus on one or the other. You don't have to do a super serious cut, then a very big bulk. Just slow it down, pay what you're doing. But stop making food the enemy. Food is going to be your best friend. Carbs are going to be your friends. You need to have these in there in order to grow, because food is substance. Food is energy. How are you going to have energy to go and do everything you want and still work out and still have the energy to grow and put massive growth into your glutes? You're just not if you're starving yourself. You need to get away from the idea that food is bad. We want to eat. We want to have carbs. We want to have protein. If you're not sure on how much you should be eating or what you're not, a simple way, you can always go into macro carbs online. You can kind of put in your information. They'll give you a suggestion. If you really don't know, if you've had eating disorders before, you're not really sure what you do, talk to a nutritionist. Don't talk to your IG little fitness model on Instagram that's going to tell you some type of whatever fucked up diet, because it's not going to work. Talk to a nutritionist, talk to a dietitian, figure out what works best for you, because certain foods, certain diets are going to work better, but do not do keto. No keto, absolutely not. Keto is terrible for you, especially as women. It messes your hormones up. It's impossible to actually sustain. What, are you never going to eat carbs again in your entire life? Ever? So you lose all this weight because you're starving yourself. You don't have any carbs. The second you go ahead and eat a carb at God knows what, you just start gaining weight again. It's not healthy. Just skip the keto. No. Just skip it. Stick to something that you can actually sustain and have it as a lifestyle. We need to get away from these diets and get more into lifestyle eating. Lifestyle eating as something that you enjoy, you're able to actually do, and you're able to maintain it for a very long time, and it's going to give you the results that you want. So doing these fad diets, doing these crazy super cuts, it's not sustainable long term. You need to figure out how to have a better relationship with your food, how to have a better relationship with the types of food you're eating and not feel guilty. Remember, anything in too much will be bad for you. And I say bad in the sense it's not going to help you towards your goals. We need to look at everything in moderation. For example, every Sunday, I go ahead, I have cake from Publix, I have an ice cream, and I go and have pizza or Chinese food. The rest of the week, I'm working out 2-3 hours a day. I'm eating my high protein diets. I still have carbs. And if I want to go ahead and have McDonald's, if I want to go ahead and I want to have some popcorn, I don't kill myself over it, because I know all my food that I'm eating for the entire week is gonna balance out. You did not get into a bad shape. You did not lose weight for one meal. It has to be consistency over a long period of time. So that one slice of cake I have, I'm not gonna get obese. If I go ahead and I miss one of my macros for the day, I have 6 more days to fix it. And guess what? I have the whole month. And then I have the whole year. Because results are not done in these quick little times. You need to give yourself time and adequate time to actually lose or gain what you want to have. Remember, the slower you go, the slower you are to lose it on the way back. So if you do a gradual incline, you're not going to gain the weight back overnight. You're not going to lose the muscle overnight. Get into a lifestyle that you're actually able to sustain. So let's go back into the main big reasons. 1, your genetic type is different. You have to learn whether you're going to be working with your genetics or working against your genetics. 2, you're not doing the correct exercises. You need to go ahead and do actual glute movements, lose the bands, lose the girly curtsies, lunges, kickbacks, all that shit. And then also you need to do heavy weight. No more body weight exercises, no more 5 pounds. Girl, grab that 20, grab that 50, get some muscle. So that is it for today. Remember, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Keep up with all the new videos. And don't forget to remember, more muscle, more food,